Right now, I'm at the rally for Succès Masra. He's just arriving here, just outside the hippodrome of the capital city in N'Djamena. And as you can hear behind me and see as well, the crowds are going pretty mad. They're very excited to see their candidate arrive here for his final rally. Now, Succès Masra has a very interesting story. He's currently the Prime Minister of right now. You can see Succès Masra arriving. That is his group of cars driving through the crowds, arriving here, greeting supporters for one last time before they go to the polling stations on Monday to vote for him. Now, he's an interesting story. He's currently the Prime Minister of Chad, but only a few months ago, he was actually in exile. Some of his supporters back in 2022 demonstrated in the streets. There was a violent crackdown, some were killed, and Succès Masra went into exile in the US. He's since come back to Chad, signed a deal with the current interim president, and he's currently his prime minister. But he's running in this presidential election. Now, some critics say that he switched sides, that he turned his coat, that he sold out by accepting that job as prime minister. He, though, has been telling his supporters, and we expect him to do so one last time here today, that politicians in Chad need to reconcile, they need to work together. So he, as Prime Minister, accepted that position with the interim president, one of his political rivals, because Chad needs its politicians to work together in order to move forward. He's been telling Chadians, give me 5 more years, give me 5 years by electing me as president, and I will, in his words, bring Chad out of obscurity. Of course, on the other side, though, we have his main rival, the current interim president, Mahamat Idriss Deby. He's also holding a big rally here in the capital city on the main plaza. And we were at that rally a little earlier today, and we expect to go there later too.
And Claire, Chad is trying to emerge from a transitional period. Can you tell us a bit more about the context of this election?
Chad is coming out of this 3-year transitional period. Now, what happened 3 years ago is that the late president, Idriss Deby, who had been in power for more than 30 years, he was killed while he was visiting troops in the north of the country. He was on the battlefield and he was killed visiting troops there. Now, the army basically installed his son, Mahamat Idriss Deby, Itno, or Midi, as he's known here as an acronym for his initials. He is very much the interim president at the moment, but he is now trying to legitimize himself and be elected as president of Chad. So he's the big rival, really. We have there are 10 candidates in this election, but 3 really in the favorites. We have the current interim president, Midi. We have Succès Masra, who's holding his rally here, and then we have Alba Barake, who is the opposition candidate, who has been saying since the beginning, criticizing the electoral process, saying that it is weighted in favor of the current interim president. Of course, the current interim president, Midi, he denies that accusation.